Calata and Mzwandile Mbeje. Lukhanyo, good afternoon to you. Certainly, we can't be privy to all the sort of deep inside discussions that have been going on behind the scenes. But from what we've heard from the likes of the Secretary General, there is certainly a deal on the table, and we're all just waiting for more information to come out of that. And we're also just waiting for this media briefing following the Chief Whip's meeting this morning. Just give us the latest. What are you hearing on the ground at Parliament?
Natasha, good afternoon. Yes, we have been here since this morning, and obviously we did a whole a series of interviews this morning with the Speaker, Jackson Mthembu, to try and ascertain exactly where we stand, exactly what those behind the scenes discussions entail, and what exactly we can expect. I think although the ANC didn't reveal much about the discussions that are taking place, we had a party leader, an opposition party leader such as Bantu Olomisa this morning, basically saying that as far as he understands the process, the cancellation of the NEC meeting was to him a sign that the President Jacob Zuma has indeed agreed to step down, and that right now what they are discussing is possibly just an exit plan as exactly how that will happen. However, just a few hours later then there's a statement that's released from the office of the President that announces that he'll be participating at the Ubuntu Awards that are taking place on Saturday in his capacity as President of the Republic. So we don't exactly know what what is happening. And then a few minutes ago, the Chief Whip's forum ended. We, had a very brief, almost like SMS discussion with one of those Chief Whips, who basically told me that there is no progress in terms of when SONA is likely to be, but that we should expect this press conference that was supposed to have been at 11, that we should expect it still for later on this afternoon. Natasha, but I'm also joined now by the presidential correspondent, Mzwandile Mbeje, to talk to us a little bit about what he's heard about what is taking place inside the corridors of power within TENES and all of those. Mzwai, good afternoon, and thanks so very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Lukhanyo.
Mzwai, you obviously are very much closer to the presidency than what us normal plebs are. What are you hearing?
I think at this stage, as you can see, this is a very carefully managed issue where we've had only the SG of the ANC really telling us what has been happening, basically reiterating that discussions are underway between the President of the ANC and the President of the Republic. So as much as they are not giving out much, but you can then see and deduce that there's a roadmap that is being worked out as to what will be the best way out of this. Because the fact that SONA was postponed, it was an acknowledgement that this issue needed to be addressed. And of course, those are the processes at the moment that are being addressed. But I can tell you that at the moment, it's in inverted commas, business as usual, as the President, together with the Deputy President, are chairing those cabinet committees that normally sit on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And of course, you've mentioned that on Saturday, he will officiate as the President of the Republic at the Ubuntu Awards. But what I can tell you without perhaps much fear is that the fact of the matter is something is being worked out so that there is a smooth transition.
This morning, when we were talking to, someone like Jackson Mthembu, when we were talking to Baleka Mbete, they were saying, particularly Jackson Mthembu, who is the Chief Whip in the caucus, was saying that the ANC will be guided, of course, by the outcome of those discussions. So the fact that the Speaker has still not announced a date for the SONA, the fact that the ANC has also not said anything around that, does show that indeed there are discussions taking place. To some extent, what those discussions are, we don't know yet, but we should know. Do you have some of your sources inside the presidency? Is there any indication as to when we can at least expect some form of announcement?
The announcement maybe a week or two, I think at most. But what you need to do, just look at the important dates that are coming. There's budget on the 21st that is coming, and then we have been told that it's not going to be moved. And guess what? On the very same 21st, there is an Armed Forces Day. And then the defense is very clear when it comes to the Armed Forces Day. They don't want anything to do with it in terms of it being moved. And is only one person who can address that day, is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. So who is the President? So the question is, will they have resolved it by the time 21st arrives? And then if they haven't arrived, resolved that issue, there is an issue of a motion of no confidence that is still coming. So, which basically gives you an indication that whatever the situation, whatever the discussions, between now and the 21st, there is some kind of announcement that will be made as to what is the way forward, whether they're talking about the end of the month or even before that. So, but there will be some kind of information, so that will give us an indication, because these dates are very important, and of course, SONA has to happen, and you know that budget can't happen before SONA.
All right, Mzwandile Mbeje, the presidential correspondent for the SABC. He was, of course, in Cape Town, expecting to have joined us for the State of the Nation address. That hasn't, unfortunately, taken place. Then it was the NEC, the special NEC meeting that was supposed to have taken place today. That is also not taking place. But Natasha, we are here. We're on the ground, and we are trying as much as we can to obviously try and solicit and get information that we can share with SABC viewers there, with the rest of the country, as to exactly what are those discussions that are taking place between the President of the Republic and the President of the ANC. When will they be resolved, and when we can expect an announcement? We know that we were supposed to have an announcement today at 11. It hasn't taken place, but now we're told that there may be an announcement coming this afternoon. We're here, we'll be the whole day. So I think from us in Cape Town for the time being, it's over to you in studio, Natasha.
Okay, Lukhanyo, thanks so much for that. Our Lukhanyo Calata live from Parliament with Mzwandile Mbeje. As you heard them, it seems it's business as usual. No date yet on the new SONA. So we're waiting for a press briefing on that following the meeting that was held with the Chief Whips of Parliament this morning. We'll keep in touch with our reporters on the ground at Parliament to bring you more as soon as we get some information on this. Do stay with